What is up, everybody? We are out here today in the Smoky Mountains getting ready to go on a hike down to campsite 68 where we'll stay the night, and then depending on what the weather looks like tomorrow, the plan is to do the whole Forney Creek, Forney Ridge loop. So we're gonna go out there, try to survive in this. Right now you can kind of look outside. It's a little cloudy and wet and right around 40 degrees, so not the best weather, but we'll make do. We'll have fun. We'll make a great trip out of it. Let's go ahead, let's hit the trail. All right, we are on the trail. It's about a mile to the junction of Forney Ridge and Forney Creek, but we're heading straight down. Haven't used the phone because for some reason GoPro is not working, but that's all right, screw it. We'll keep on hiking through the rain and get to campsite 68, get camp set up, enjoy this beautiful hiking weather as we always get. I think the trail's a little wet today. Alright, so we've reached the junction of Forney Ridge Trail, which is where we'll come up tomorrow, where Andrew's Bald is at. We're actually going to go down Forney Creek Trail, which is down this way, which is pretty much going to be all downhill today, a lot of downhill tomorrow, and then a lot of uphill tomorrow too. But we're about 2 miles actually away from the campsite, making good time. Let's keep on heading down, let's get the shelter set up, and let's get a little dry. So this just happened, broke one of my trekking poles I was stepping. I really should have gone around this way, but I figure I can make this step onto the rock, and totally slipped and fell on my ass. But luckily we have two. That's scary because these are what's holding up the shelter tonight, and we're down up hole, but let's keep the other one intact. And we're about a mile from the campsite, so let's see if we can keep this one together at least until tonight. Alright, I guess this is Forney Creek. I don't think we're supposed to cross over there because it looks like the trail continues onto this side. So we're going to go through this shallower wet part and work our way down there and see, I think, yeah, I don't know what that is over there. And it's just a herd path, but we're going to go down this way to the right so we don't have to cross the raging creek. Okay, so here's the other option. I think we're gonna do this one. We're just gonna get really wet. We're gonna use the pole, cross there, at least get to the rock where we can kind of crawl along. It's better than trying to rock hop all through that. So, wish me luck. Well, that was fun. Definitely cold legs now. Luckily, I don't think I've said it yet, but I've got a dry set of clothes when we get to camp. And I think we're gonna spend most of the time inside the tent once we get there. But good news is that camp's just around this corner, so I'm gonna stop talking here in a second so I can cross this rock. So we're getting close, we're almost to camp. Alright, so you can see here, that's the waterfall that we crossed up there at the top. Here's another one. This is actually campsite 68, so it's a little small and it's a little damp. So when I booked the site though, it said there's an upper one here, but then there's a lower part of it, about a 5-minute walk down the trail. So I think we got plenty of time left, plenty of daylight left. I'm gonna walk down, see what the lower part's like, see if it's a little drier, because I don't really want to set up right here because it's wet and the ground's just soaked, I guess, everywhere though. So it's right next to the cables. So I'm gonna walk down, see if we can see the lower part. There's the waterfalls. We're head down, see if we can find that other part of this campsite. Alright, this site is so much better. It's a little bit bigger, but the bear cables are over there. I think we're going to set up right here. We're still by the water, so I can get some water tonight to cook with. but I don't think we're gonna have an issue finding water anywhere right now. So let's get set up. Let's start seeing if we can dry out as much as we can, and start setting up camp. All right, so we've got the tarp set up, and it's all foggy and condensate in here. But I've just got to say, it's moments like these that I question why I do this and why I come out. Could be at home drinking a beer, watching some hockey. Go Bolts, by the way. But we are out here in the middle of nowhere, in a rainstorm, in a tarp that is just big enough for me and my gear, and it is all we have to stay dry. So luckily tomorrow, they said the forecast, it should stop raining at some point tonight, so tomorrow should be clear skies and sunny, so hopefully that could dry us out some. But right now I am soaked to the bone. I'm gonna eat some food a little bit, probably changing some dry clothes, and we'll be spending most of our time in here. So see how it goes. All right, so just had a crazy thing happen. Was going down to go fill up the water bottles and filter, and dropped one of the empty ones. I brought two. Dropped the empty one into the creek, where it proceeded to float down. Luckily, again, I got caught in a swirl, and I was able to go down the creek a little ways and get it. But we almost lost the water bottle. But in order to get that, I had to jump back into the creek to get it. So pants are definitely soaked right now, but I am in dry clothes and I'm warming up. And then so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cook food underneath the tarp here, eat our dinner a little earlier than intended, and then hang up the food bag and just kind of stay dry and stay warm until tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. All right, so just got done cooking dinner. Got some great value loaded bacon cheddar mac and cheese. Piled on some more bacon and bits with that, so we're gonna stir that in. The rain has kind of started to calm down a little bit. It's just falling down from the trees. But we're gonna eat some dinner, and then we'll hang up the food bag and lay down, watch a movie or two, and then go to bed. So we finally have sunlight today. It's about 7 o'clock, so I'm not sure how much longer it's gonna last. But while it does, we're gonna let the socks dry out some, shoes, rain jacket. We got our food bag hanging up, but we've also got shirt and pants, hopefully air drying somewhat. We'll see. Maybe, I think they said it's supposed to stop raining tonight, but I don't exactly trust it, so might just leave those hanging up and we'll see. Can't be any worse than it was. But finally some sunlight, stopped raining. Like I said earlier, tomorrow should be, give me 1 second, tomorrow it should be sunny and pretty good weather. I checked the map, we've got about 16 miles tomorrow to do our loop, so we'll be up bright and early hitting the trail, and we'll finish the loop off, go back up to Klingman's Dome, and we'll be done with this hike. But for right now, I'm gonna enjoy the sunshine while it lasts, and we'll talk to you soon. Good morning, everybody. We're back on the GoPro. Got it dried out last night. Everything else though is still pretty damp and pretty wet. But we had everything packed up. Got a bunch of the clothes hanging up on the side of the backpack. We're gonna get started hopefully throughout the day as the sun comes out and we start moving around. It'll dry some of it off, at least keep us warm. But we'll go ahead and get started hitting the trail. We have about 16 miles of our loop to do today, and then we'll go back to the car. All right. So it looks like we've got another creek crossing. Luckily, since I'm using the GoPro, I've got it mounted, so I should be able to still use both hands. Let's see if we can cross this. Well, I wanted to do this hike kind of a little bit as a training day. I've got the AT coming up next year, and it certainly has. We've hiked through the rain. We've gone through two pretty significant water crossings where we've had to get submerged. So getting used to being wet and cold, which I guess if you start the trail around this time of year, you're gonna be. So we're gonna keep on moving and just make the most of it. All right, it looks like we have yet another water crossing. This one does not look as bad though. I think we can safely make it across this rock and a couple of those logs over there. Let's go ahead, let's get across. Alright, so this one may be the worst water crossing yet. Well, we gotta get over there. So here we go. Looks like this is Forney Creek again. We're gonna get wet again. So the trail is literally now actually a creek, and I see the end of it over there. Well, yet again, we're getting wet. Let's head in. All right, time for another pretty deep water crossing. I'm gonna try to do this while holding the camera. The deep part. I totally went up to the hips. And we're out. All right, we just left campsite 69. Used the bathroom real fast, if you know what I mean. But then two major creek crossings, one to get into the campsite, one to get out of the campsite, and it's all part of the trail. So we're about 1.5 miles from, I gotta double check, I think it's Jonas Creek Trail. I may be wrong, we'll check once we get there. But then from there we'll head south. We'll meet up with the Forney Ridge Trail and then head back up Forney Ridge through Andrews Bald back to where we started yesterday and up to Klingman's Dome. But on the trail, wet, still enjoying it, but we'll see you once we get to the junction. So you can tell where the trail used to be a road. It's pretty wide, but this is clearly where there was a bridge across the creek. It's not here anymore. I know this is a surprise, but here we go, another creek crossing. All right, so we just reached the junction with Jonas Creek Trail. Instead of going across the stream to campsite 70 over there, because who knows how far away that is, I'm gonna go 1.2 miles instead of Springhouse Branch, which is actually where we meet up with Forney Ridge Trail, and that's where campsite 71 is at. So we'll stop there, eat a quick lunch / breakfast or brunch, if you will. But we'll hike there, take a break. Maybe that'll give this legs a chance to dry off. Who knows, we'll probably have another creek crossing. and then we'll head up the Forney Ridge Trail just on the other side. So, making our way. All right, so we made it to campsite 71. It's sunny. We're gonna let some of the stuff dry out a little bit, and then we'll be heading up. I think I have to double check. I think it said a Spring Branch Trail to meet up with Forney Ridge soon. But we're getting closer to it. Talked to some guys that were coming down this way. I don't know which trail they came up from, but they said there were a couple more creek crossings, which is to be expected at this point. But for right now, we're gonna make some brunch, eat some food, dry out a little bit, and then hit the trail again. All right, we are back off onto the trail, heading up. Oh, I had the name of this one, I forgot it. But either way, it's about 4.5. I think it said to till we get to the Forney Ridge Trail. And then up from there. So we've got total distance back to the car 9.5 miles, and it's a little after 11. It's 11:30. So let's get it going. All right, so we've traded water crossings for uphill. That's what's slowing us down now. Man, it's getting hot too. The sun's coming out. It's clear skies. It's warming up. Had to shed a bunch of layers. But we're about 2.5 miles from the junction with the Forney Ridge Trail. And from there, I want to say it's around 4 miles or so. So from there, 4 miles back to Clingman's Dome. We'll probably stop and take a break depending on how warm it is at Andrews Bald. And then get back to the car. All right, we're here at the junction of the Forney Ridge Trail and the Springhouse Branch Trail. So we're gonna take Forney Ridge up. We're a little under 4 miles away from Andrews Bald and a little over 5.5 miles away from Clingman's Dome. So we're gonna take a little break here, eat some snacks, and then hit the trail again till and go nonstop till we get to the Bald. Oh, all right, we're a little under 1.5 miles from Andrews Bald. Had to stop and drink some water. This elevation's no joke. Just checked, 1.5 miles, but we still have 900 feet of elevation gain. And then up to Clingman's Dome, we still have 1,600 feet. So we're gonna be going up for the rest of the day. And so the key is just to take it easy, and slow and steady wins the race. But we're getting closer to it. Keep on hiking. So as we're getting closer to Andrews Bald, the trail is turning very rocky and back to being wet and tough to navigate. And of course, it's uphill, but if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. Our first glimpses of a view. All right, we just left Andrews Bald, and we have about a little over 1.5 miles left of the hike till we are back to the car at Clingman's Dome. And then, got a sandwich waiting. All right, we've made it back to the Clingman's Dome parking lot. busy as always. You can see down there the view from here. But that is the end of this hike. Hold on. Oh, there we go. That is the end of this hike. It was a great trip. Lost the trekking pole. Everything soaking wet. But I had a great time anyways. See you on the next one.